Welcome to this week's edition of The Gun Doctor. We're here today at Smokin Gun Works with the actual gun doctor, Doc Ruter.
Thank you, Tim.
It's good to see you. Well, the gun doctor has been around for going on almost 3 years now.
Yes.
And the first question that we got when we did the first gun doctor, somebody commented and said, "Who's the gun doctor?
Yes.
Who's the gun doctor?" So the first question I got to you, where did you grow up? We're right here at 8785 North Baileyville Road, Forreston, Illinois.
Yes.
Smokin Gun Works. Where did you grow up?
I literally grew up in Forreston.
In Forreston.
Yes. Grade school, high school in Forreston, went off to college, went on to start my dental career at Loyola University, graduated in 1985.
So for everybody watching, you are an actual doctor.
Yes, yeah, legit. Have the certificate, plaque to hang on the wall. Yeah, it started dentistry, like I said, in 85. I literally came back to Forreston as a part-time job. Opportunity arose in Forreston. Thought, well, I'll give it a try before the practice started. That was going to start in Fox Valley area. And as I tell everybody, it's one of the longest part-time jobs ever. It's a great place to live, raise our family, our 2 children, and then Smokin Gun Works started.
Smokin Gun Works started. Well, let's go back even farther. Now, when was your first interest in guns? A lot of us as kids, we have interest in guns and just kind of blossomed for there. But for you,
it's been a lifelong thing. Of course, the plastic, the toy guns, growing up. But my father, my grandparents were all hunters, so I had a gun in my hand at a very early age.
I can remember taking a gun to school. If you can believe this or not, I took a gun to school for a display that we had. It was a .22 rifle. You had to take the bolt out and put it in a display. Carried it to school, walked to school, and today, if you did that, you would have the SWAT team.
It's changed a lot, but I too, brought him to school for show and tell. I actually had him in my vehicle to go hunting after school type thing. So guns have always been high interest on my radar.
So then you made a shift from dentistry and the gun shop.
Yeah, it was a transition. I was, in dentistry and running the gun shop at the same time for a few years, but when COVID hit, having a little lung problem, history of pneumonia, they didn't want me practicing anymore, and I decided to end my dental career and be here at Smokin Gun Works full time.
And you started out in a building downtown, or
yes,
and it was a
lot
smaller than the current building. So
yeah, quite a bit smaller.
Describe that. Tell us what that was.
It was actually a 40 by 60 building. It was retail only. But the way the gun industry was growing at the time, and still is, and the fact that there were no indoor ranges of really any kind at the time in this area, I got the bright idea of, hey, why don't I build an indoor range? And the property became available, everything started falling together, and we opened this in 2017, I guess, was our first year.
Now, what was this building before it was Smokin Gun Works?
Actually, it was a bar and restaurant, part of it.
Oh, okay, so
yes.
It was a restaurant. And,
yes.
Has not been a restaurant for a number of years?
Yes, it had been dormant for many years. Actually, I looked at the building to move my dental practice out here years ago.
Okay.
And somebody came forward and, wanted to reopen the restaurant, so I missed that opportunity. When the building had been vacant for 3 or 4 years, I believe. It had been non-functional. And I put a bid on it and got it out of an estate sale, and the rest is history. A big addition onto it, of course, but.
Yeah, and we've talked about this. We talk about it all the time, the Gun Doctor, that's a 5-star nationally rated range.
Yes.
How did that happen? What do you have to do to become a 5-star nationally rated range?
The National Shooting Sports Foundation actually has a criteria that you have to meet. Most of it's safety and EPA regulations. So how you handle your shooters as they come in, how you have, range safety officers on staff, how everyone is protected when they're in the range, how clean the range is. The OSHA standards are quite lengthy. They really are very meticulous on how you handle the air quality, the lead dust that's emitted, copper and lead, projectiles that disintegrate at the end of the range, that type of thing. So being in medicine and having to abide by a bunch of EPA and OSHA regulations, it really wasn't that new to me, the concept. Just a matter of finding out what they wanted and being able to comply with those regulations.
And you took the unusual step of actually inviting OSHA inspectors to your facility.
I did.
Here.
Yes, I did.
I've never heard of anybody inviting OSHA. It's usually we're running away from them in industry.
Well, and that's always been my issue. Even like I said, in dentistry, we would invite them in to make sure that we were compliant in every way, shape, or form. And we actually even augmented a lot of the OSHA regulations to improve their standards. Here was another example of that. We had them come in, we're looking at all the safety features that we provide at Smokin Gun Worx. All the safety issues that we try to take care of before an incident might happen. So we actually set the bar a little higher. I'm sure there are other people that aren't really appreciative of that, but nonetheless, I want to do it right. And I always did want to be the example that you can be reassured it's a very safe, healthy environment that you're in.
And the amazing thing to me that when I walk in that range and the air is so clean that my sinuses actually clear up.
Yes.
and I'm just astonished by that.
Air quality is the big thing in a range. That's like the first and foremost thing that they're always worried about. So we have what's called a ventilation system, that's called a purge system. So the air is actually pumped in from the outside. It generates a wave of air that goes downrange at usually 74 to 78 cubic feet per minute. So it literally cleans all the smoke, dust, everything that's generated upon letting go, around in a firearm. It all goes downrange. It's vacuumed up, so there's a pump side that actually pressurizes the air in the range, and then there's a vacuum side that takes the air out. Well, it doesn't just take it out, it filtrates it. It goes through 20 paper filters. They're a 2 foot by 2 foot square, 2 inch thick. It's called a MERV 13 rating air filter. So it's a paper particulate matter filter that filters the air out. Then all that air goes through a HEPA filter system. Those filters again are 2 foot by 2 foot. They're 11.5 inches deep to take out all the minor particulate matter out of the air. So the air that goes out of this system is much more, it's much more clean and purified than what came in.
And you have leagues?
Yes.
Shooting leagues?
Yes.
You have men and women shooting leagues?
Yes, we have all kinds of functions from specific leagues to days like Wheel Gun Wednesday, that type of thing. Seem to get a lot of foot traffic out of it as well.
And in addition to new and used guns and knives and apparel and ammo and how is the ammo situation?
It's improving. It really is. The manufacturers are really scrambling. The price of the raw product has gone up markedly. The copper, the brass, the lead. Right now we're in a big issue of getting primers. Primers are very difficult to get a hold of worldwide, actually. A lot of them now are being imported from Turkey or Bosnia, that type of thing. But yeah, ammo prices, they've settled a bit. I don't think, I'm confident that they will never go back to the price they used to be.
Okay. Unlike gas.
Unlike gasoline, yes. Yes.
That's a good thing. So now, this is something I found out, I was a little surprised. You do a lot of different things here. It's not just guns and ammo and shooting, but you also do training.
Yes.
You provide what kind of training do you?
Starting with basic firearm training, handgun or rifle, whatever it may be. A lot of people are very interested in that now. Seems the interest in firearms in our nation has gone up markedly. And the state of Illinois is a great example of that. Nationwide, from March of 2020, we've been the #1 firearm selling state in our nation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and not by a short margin either. We have a lot of law-abiding citizens that have never really considered firearms, so they are now. So our basic handgun education is there. Of course, our concealed carry training and renewal courses are always very well attended. Every 5 years, the concealed carry needs to be renewed. It's actually a very good class. I know there was a lot of input on how Illinois was finally going to have a concealed carry law. The first day is a basic handgun class. They use the NRA basic handgun class as an outline for the class that you must attend to get your concealed carry. And once you have those permits, then the second day you get into more of the legal aspects of it, and then you have to show proficiency at 5, 7, and 10 yards.
Demographically, men, women, where have you seen the biggest increase in those who want a concealed carry permit, that want to purchase a gun?
Mm-hmm.
What do you see?
By far, female shooters are coming on strong. They truly are. And that's a nationwide thing, not just Illinois. Illinois, we notice quite a bit, but a lot of ladies have a very necessary concern on their own safety, and that's usually what's driving them to learning how to use a firearm, how to get their concealed carry permits, how to carry properly. And honestly, new lady shooters are typically very good shots as well.
Well, and that might explain, now there's a lot of other things going on here, and that might explain the Mary Kay meeting I saw the other day in the meeting room.
Yes.
Going on.
Yes.
But also, I was fascinated to learn a couple years ago that you've had wedding receptions.
Oh, definitely.
Here.
Yes, we have it's a little smaller venue now, but we have a room we rent out to the Mary Kay ladies. They utilize that space for their meetings. We've had farm meetings. We've had church groups attend here. Yes, we had a wedding. I was honored that they chose our facility for that. We've had
a thing called date night. Is that
yes?
Is that what it's called?
Yes,
Okay.
that is exactly right.
Date night.
It's something I must credit my dear wife on, the idea of a date night. When she came up with the idea, I thought, yes, it's a very good idea. I don't know how long this will last. I thought, we'll probably run a couple of them, around the holidays. The interest during Valentine's season is pretty heavy, really is. But she came up with the idea on how to cater it, how to roll with it, how many people we can have, and it's an ongoing thing that we have at Smokin Gun Works.
So growing up, did you think that ever think you would come back and do like everything we've talked about?
Mm-hmm.
All this, was that ever a thought in your mind?
The dentistry part was, coming back, but never the gun business. I never dreamt I'd be in the firearm industry. Years ago, I experienced a very unpleasant situation in Forreston. My phrase is, I was given a bushel of lemons and I thought I'd make lemonade. I must credit my crew that I have as well. They're a great group of, I now employ 15 people at Smokin Gun Works.
And when you started, how many did you have?
3.
And we've talked a lot about all the various things that go on here.
Mm-hmm.
And just about 2 months ago, I did the IROC, the Illinois Retired Officers
Oh, yes.
Conceal and Carry training here, and it was got my card in over the weekend, Friday and Monday morning. I had my card, so it was very well done.
Well, the IROC, since you bring that up, that's a neat program that I never knew about until I actually had a range. So, and I don't know if the folks know, but for retired law enforcement, you have to come in and proficiency and show your proficiency every year.
Every year. And pay for it.
Yes, exactly. And I did not know that was even a thing. once you served our communities as you have, and thank you for that.
You're welcome. Thank you.
But I always assumed incorrectly that it was something that you would have lifelong ability to carry a firearm, when it's really not at all. You guys have practice. You had to proficiency every year. You have to proficiency every year past your retirement. So it's really been an honor to see all the retired law enforcement from all over the state come to Smokin Gun Works and take their course here.
Yeah, in the range, I mean, there's no other range like this that is such a beauty just to shoot on this range, and such an
Thank you.
enjoyment to do that. Now, we've talked a lot about all the things going on here. There's another thing that you're involved in, the youth sport shooting.
Oh, the youth shooting programs.
Youth shooting program.
So
Tell us about that.
That was something when I first started in firearms retail. NRA approached me about having a banquet. Friends of NRA specifically. So I said, all right, I'll be more than happy to work with you on that. Where's the funding going? Well, it goes into general fund. I'm like, no, let's rethink this. We didn't have a real active like trap shooting type function at any of the schools at the time. Said, how about we fund these, local schools? My first target was Forreston and Eastland schools. How about we help them out getting this program, off the ground? Well, okay, it's one of those deals. Yeah, if you can do something, we'll listen. So I came up with the idea of the banquets that I have would fund those school districts directly. I put the FFA director in charge of the funds because the FFA had already a trap shooting outline ready to go. Well, I didn't want it just to go to the school district and have the funds misappropriated. I'm not accusing anybody, but typically that's how the funds get, washed clean. So the NRA agreed to keep those funds with the director in charge of the funds. Because of what I was doing, the NRA agreed to match every dollar I put in. So now we open it up so the FFA director can call, I need firearms, I need clay pigeons, I need, 12 gauge shot shells or 20 gauge reimbursement for entry fees or travel fees, whatever the case may be, and they have oversight on those funds. So locally right now, I believe we have 14 schools in the program. I'm branching out into 4-H, some Boy Scouts and Girl Scout troops are also in line for some of that funding. But the neat thing is, NRA took that program and went nationwide with it. So it's a great thing.
It started here.
It started here in Forreston, yes.
Wow.
It was a neat thing to be part of and to actually figure out how that when the banquets occur, that the money goes directly to those local school districts and will be used appropriately.
Yeah. Now, there's a real temptation, any funds for any agency to use those when money comes in, but that's a very worthwhile program. And now you mentioned the NRA Banquet.
Yes.
And that's something you've held up here in the parking lot and in the store.
Many different versions of it.
Many
yes.
different versions, and a lot of people attend. Do you ever get a number on the amount of the number of people that attend this?
I've tried. I've got some rough
they
estimates.
They come and go so much, but it's anytime I've been out here, there's been hundreds of people.
Cars parked down the road. Yeah, yes. It's always been very well attended, and I'm honored that people will stop by and attend those banquets with us.
Now that kind of shut down because of the COVID.
Definitely.
It hasn't happened. Is that coming back?
It's starting to come back. We have a couple events scheduled this year. Customer Appreciation Day. Friends of NRA will be here for that as well.
Have dates yet? Or?
Also going to be having our first car and motorcycle show, car, truck, and motorcycle show here at Smokin Gun Works on June 11th. And again, friends of NRA will be here as well. We'll have some vendors I'm not sure who's all on the docket right now, but firearm vendors that will be here as well.
And are these classic cars or these?
Any show car.
Any show car.
Yeah.
So you can bring your show car.
Oh, definitely.
Oh,
definitely. Yeah, it's something that we've kicked around for a little while, and finally all the planning has come together. Like I said, I've got a great team that helps me with my wild ideas. They love it at times when I come in, hey, I've got this great idea, let's do this. Like, well, we've been thinking about that too, can we, as the phrase goes between us, we plant the seeds and watch it grow.
You talked about staff, and anytime I've ever walked in the door, it's or anybody else I've noticed, it's someone's right there to greet you, and very friendly and welcome, and how can I help you? And
thank you. It's always been very important to me, not just in dentistry, but in retail as well. We don't always get that in retail. I've noticed that, when I go into a store, for example.
And they're very knowledgeable also. I mean,
yes.
In whatever you want to look at, and there's a lot to look at here. There's handguns and shotguns, new, used, and you got it all right here at Smokin Gun Works.
We really do. Our inventory has come back very nicely. Right now we have about 1,300 firearms on display between handguns and long guns. The wall of ammo seems to be doing quite well. We get shipments in on a pretty regular basis anymore. It's not like it used to be with availability, but it's coming on pretty good.
New products. You get new products frequently. You get new
on a very regular basis, yes.
You can shoot, chop, or train, buy, sell, or trade. You can do it all. Smokin Gun Works, 8785 North Baileyville Road, Forreston, Illinois. For the Gun Doctor, I'm Tim Bivens, and you are?
I am the Gun Doctor.
The Gun Doctor.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
Smokin Gun Works in Forreston, Illinois.